Hey Brett, here is my Mother's Day video.
Good morning, Manifest. It's Kim Milby here. So good to see everyone.
Good morning.
Hello. This is going out of my comfort zone, but
where are you gonna look? Okay, you put your feet on the ground, right there. Try not to rock back and forth. Okay, push your glasses up real quick. Okay, when you think about Mommy, what is your favorite thing about Mommy?
My favorite thing is Mommy cooking.
Cooking? What do you like that she cooks?
I like when she cooks spaghetti. Wait, no. Hash browns.
I cook hash browns.
Oh, omelet.
my favorite thing about my mom is that she is so generous in her spirit. So by that I mean she is always willing to give like a gift of time, or cook a meal for someone, or just be like living with open hands. That's my favorite thing about my mom, and I get to see it now that we have little people running around. She is so willing and so generous with like her holidays. She wants to come and like connect with them and spend time with them, and it's so special. And that's my favorite thing about my mom, is her generous spirit.
My favorite thing about my mom would be that she loves me no matter what.
My favorite thing about my mom right now is watching her play with my kids, and just how much she loves playing with my kids. And it reminds me how much she loved me when I was little and how much she loves me now.
What do I love about my mom? Absolutely everything. She's always been there, always supported me, always been my best friend, my biggest cheerleader.
My favorite thing about Mommy is that she makes me food.
Hi, my name is Chase, and my favorite thing about my mom is that she's super joyful and happy.
That she makes pancakes for me.
Probably her courage and her dedication, especially when it came to raising me and my two sisters. When my mom was 23 years old, she was a single parent, and she moved from Ontario to Calgary with a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, that was me, and a 7-year-old, my older sister. It was, yeah, my mom and the three of us all in the front of a U-Haul cab, driving, 10 to 12 hours a day for I think 5 days straight across Canada to move us from Ontario to Calgary. And I cannot imagine the challenge that must have been for her. And when we did arrive in Calgary, she went back to school. She only had her grade 10 education at the time, went back to school and was working 2 jobs while trying to raise the 3 of us. So yeah, when I think about my favorite thing about my mom, I'm really blown away by the courage and dedication that she had to us. I can't imagine the stress that she was under, and as I go through being a parent myself, I gain more and more appreciation every day for what she did to provide this life for us. So that's definitely one of the biggest, one of my favorite things about my mom.
My favorite thing about my mom is her kindness and how she is always there for me. I can go to her for anything and she always has my back. I also really love her cooking.
Favorite thing about my mom? Her baking. But in all seriousness, now my mom is very special. She's very loving. Doesn't matter who the person is. They're coming for dinner, if they're at her house and it's supper time, they're eating. She's very compassionate. She understands.
My favorite thing about Mommy is that she is very kind to me.
Sit up straight.
One thing that drives me crazy of Mom is she just cares if she goes crazy. That drives me really crazy.
When she goes crazy, that drives you crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing about my mom that drives me crazy is the song that she sings to us randomly throughout the day. It's about children who need their mother.
Drove me nuts when she would never stand up for what she wanted, but was always more than willing to give up anything for me and my brother.
My mom would never sit still. So like we would be like sitting down to watch a hockey game and she would just be like puttering around doing stuff, and we would sit down for like a meal and then she would stand right back up and go do stuff in the kitchen, just like more stuff for supper or whatever. And now I get it.
What drove me the most crazy, and still does, is her terrible English. There's some simple words that she just can't pronounce and it can get on my nerves.
I think especially when I was a teenager, being nagged to do chores or complete things and do a great job with them, but I'm thankful now because I have a lot of good habits because of it.
The fact that she insists on doing my hair.
It is something that I do. I can't believe it. So my mom had this amazing way of getting information from me, whether it was late at night when I came home or on a drive to school or piano lessons or whatever it is. She never gave up. And you can ask my kids, I'm like a basset hound. That's just how I describe myself. It's like, I don't give up needing to know how their heart is doing and where they're at and how I can support them, what I can pray for. And when I sense something is off, I am all in and I don't give up. So that's something that drove me crazy growing up, but I think that I know that I got from my mom.
Okay, I want to know, are there any other women in your life who you kind of see as moms that kind of treat you like they act like they're your mom?
Another mom that treats me is Carlin.
What do you like about Carlin?
She lets us play video games.
I don't think I really had another mother figure in my life, maybe until I was about 18 or 19, and I became friends with this guy I met, and his mom she was really, really cool. She treated me like her own son almost right from the start. I remember she did and still does call me Tommy, which is something that only my family calls me. Some very, very close friends call me Tommy, and that's something that means a lot to me. And so she always would call me Tommy, and just the way that she welcomed me into her home when I went to visit, and fed meals and all that kind of really motherly stuff. That's the person who comes to mind as my friend's mom. She was awesome.
Mary Grace.
All right. What does she do for you? What's something you appreciate about Mary Grace?
The fact that she is always understanding of me.
Nice.
So this Mother's Day, I want to honor my living and thriving, golf-playing, 95-year-old grandmother, Phyllis. She's very special to me.
I do have some other mother figures in my life. My mother-in-law is great. She's not like what you see in the movies where there's a lot of tension. She puts up with my teasing of her, and she has welcomed me with open arms and has taught me a lot about how to be a good husband to my wife. My grandma, who I got to live with during university, was fantastic too. I enjoyed her cooking, and I enjoyed learning lots from her experience. And my Oma as well, and she's now passed away, but I learned lots from her about how to just play. She played with my kids even into her 80s.
Try to look at the camera, okay?
Okay.
And hold still. Okay. What is the most meaningful thing that Mom has ever done for you? So what is like the best, most important thing she does for you? Can you push your glasses up?
One of the best things about Mom is she helps me work and do school with me.
That's awesome.
The most special thing that Mommy has ever done for me is that she went for a walk with me.
To go back to my answer to the first one on that. Again, just, you know, being a young single mom with these 3 kids, and having to work so hard to provide a life for us, to be able to, you know, even just provide, you know, a home and food for us, but also, you know, education and yeah, just all the opportunities that we had. She had to work very, very hard and sacrifice a lot of her own life at a very young age, you know, early mid-20s, for us. So yeah, that's definitely one of the most meaningful things my mom's ever done.
I can't even say there's one thing that was the most meaningful that my mom did, but something that does stand out a lot is how she always wants to spend time with me and my sister, and she just always wanted to do something fun to build our relationship.
When she got us that pancake mix for Easter.
The most special thing Mommy has ever done for me is tell me about Jesus.
The most meaningful thing that she's done for me is take me to Disneyland.
The most meaningful thing my mom has ever done for me is go to all my doctor's appointments.
The most meaningful thing my mom has ever done for me is I feel like I get to watch it right now every time I see her, and that's like her connecting with Levi and Ainsley and just showing them how much she loves them, and just like she's willing to like jump on the trampoline with them and stuff, and that seems kind of silly, but I think it's pretty special and it's really unique.
What has Mommy taught you about Jesus?
Things that teaches about Jesus is he loves me, it's in my heart, and he cares about me.
My mom has taught me so much about the Lord, whether it's like having a steadfast faith even when things don't seem like they're super swell, but knowing that the Lord is like there and he has us and he brings us so much peace, and bringing those concerns to him in prayer, that God's word is true and that his promises are true, and that we can rely on that for our foundation, and that like a community of believers is one of the most important things that you can surround yourself with. And so having people who love the Lord and are walking alongside you and living in faith with you is one of the most important things that you can do as a believer. Not all of that is good. Please don't put all of that in there.
She helps me with my prayers.
What my mom has taught me about Jesus is that he's a loving God and that he loves me no matter what I do.
She has taught me to be so much like Jesus in everything, from walking downstairs and seeing her reading her Bible every morning to constantly reminding us that the Lord is with us, to getting random texts, even now, saying that she's praying for me.
Something that my mom has taught me about Jesus is that he was never a judging person. She taught us that Jesus never judged people on how they looked or how we saw them on the outside, but how they really were on the inside. And she definitely demonstrated this through how she talks with such kindness to other people, and how she just doesn't judge people when she talks about them.
Mommy taught me about Jesus is how he died on the cross for me.
My mom has been a very good example of praying. She prays for me, she prays for my wife, she prays for my kids every day, and taught me the importance of prayer and that relationship with Jesus. She's taught me the importance of regularly going to church and being committed in that relationship, and I've learned a lot from her that way. I also learned a lot about worship from my mom, and when she was having a hard time with something, she would often go to the piano and take out the hymnal and play a song, and I can remember sometimes where she would have tears on her face and she would just be worshiping with her whole heart, and I learned a lot about worship from her.
Mommy taught me about Jesus, that Jesus did many cool things.
What's something Mom has taught you that makes you a better person?
Helping me do puzzles, like school, and getting up early.
My grandma is one of my greatest influencers, and whose spiritual leading has made such an impact on my life. My hope is that this bold faith in Christ and understanding of the power of prayer will continue to trickle down for generations to come.
You know, she's always supported me, always had faith in me, always told me that I was capable of doing anything. Whenever I did, you know, achieve success in whatever way, she would just have this like knowing smile and look at me and say, you know, I knew you could do it. I never had any doubt. Of course you would achieve that success. It was really confidence building and a really, you know, great example of her love for me. Hard to put into words actually when I start thinking of it, but yeah, her support and belief in me was and still is really incredible. So I think that's been a big part of how she's helped me become who I am today.
As a lot of people know, I'm very, very stubborn. Extremely stubborn. So if I were like in arguments, which, you know, they came, she would help me kind of like figure out the other side of the argument, like the other person's perspective in a more clear like way so that I could kind of understand that. And then me being able to like use that now for like myself, you know, being able to like look at another person's perspective before making any judgments.
My mom has definitely helped me become the person I am today by being just a very positive role model and just always encouraging me. She also has taught me that to just trust in God and not to fear because He has control of my life.
I think that my mom has shown me that I can be a woman of God in so many different areas of my life. I don't have to just be like in one space. My mom has shown me that I can do anything that I want to if I put my mind to it, and she's really encouraging.
I am incredibly driven. I work very hard, and when I am passionate about something, forget it. Like, I am all in. And I believe that those are qualities that I have learned from my mom. Growing up in the business world, my mom and dad have owned their own business my whole life. And so my mom exemplified that. Every day I saw that. And so thanks, Mom.
By giving birth to me.
My mom's helped me become the person I am today a lot. She's taught me a lot about fully committing to things. She's taught me about being my best. She's taught me about putting Jesus first and foremost in my life, putting my family as importance, and she's taught me how to love. And she really has been the embodiment of unconditional love in my life. And even when I haven't always been the most respectful person in my teens or in other times, she's always been just there for me. And she's helped shape me into the person that I am in my family life, in my church life, in my work life. And I'm really grateful for the lessons that she's taught me.
Do you know what advice is?
No.
Advice is when you give someone else some ideas of how they should act or what they should do. So if you were going to talk to someone who is a brand new mom, they just had a new baby, what's something you would tell them that they should do?
You should take good care of the baby.
That's it? Oh, apparently that's it.
I'll keep them really, really short. So the first one is don't look to social media for your value or to try and design yourself alongside. Social media, wait, that's a new word, social media. Social media, I digress. Social media, it is so easy to look at pictures and look at videos and look at things that are done and go, I can never be like that, or I'm not that good, or if only. And I think we can easily spiral into this way of not measuring up. So I want to encourage you that God has created you to be a mom to your child exactly who you are. He created you as a child of God, his child, and he's designed you specifically to be a mom to your child. And so that will be unlike anybody else.
Tell your kids you believe in them. Tell them they're capable of anything. Tell them how proud you are of them, and tell them often. You probably won't be able to fully appreciate how profound that can be for a kid growing up, maybe particularly for a son growing up. You know, in my case, I was the only boy in the household. It was my mom and my two sisters. So maybe for me, without a father figure, hearing my mom say, "You got this, you can do it, you're capable of anything, I'm proud of you," was really confidence building for me, and still is to this day.
I want other mommies to know that God loves them, that I have good manners.
Number 2 is find a community, find a tribe, find a group of moms that are in their journey with Jesus and also have children similar in the age that your kids are at, or about to have kids, and live in community together, walk together. Be willing to speak truth and love to each other, and be willing to receive that spoken truth in love. I had an incredible privilege of it when our kids were little, and they were, it's hard to believe when you look at them now, but they were like way before this gray came in. And I had a few really great women that I was able to walk life through.
She's been asked, you know, the secret to her longevity. And she would tell you, number 3, a little bit of wine and a whole lot of fun. Well, let me show you. This is Grandma in a nutshell. She's amazing. Number 2, she would say, my family and my friends, they still need my love, and they certainly need my prayers. And it's true, we really do. Thank you. Thank you, Grammy. Thank you for your prayers. Number 1, this is no secret. Grammy her whole life has put Jesus at the forefront of her life and trusted in him to lead her life.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I just am exiting this season of young children, although I still have preschoolers, but like young babies I could give advice to maybe would be like, just cut yourself some slack. There's like a whole extra human in your house, and go to bed, well, like when you can, just sleep whenever you can.
And third, if possible, find someone who is just a few stages later on in parenting. Whether you're pregnant with your first, or you have toddlers, or whatever stage of your life you're in, find a mom that's just a couple of stages ahead, and somebody that also you see qualities in, that you kind of say, hey, I like that. Because we can also all grow as moms. We are also in a journey together. And so seek out time with that mom, glean and learn and grow in real life.
You don't get much sleep, kids are going crazy, everyone expects you to know the answers, including your husband, and you don't, you're figuring it out as you go, and that's okay. So my best advice that I would give to young moms is give yourself grace. You're doing the best you can do, you're doing a great job, and your kids are so very blessed to have you as their mom. There's no one else that can do a better job of being their mom than you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
She's just the best person I know. Love you, Mom.
I want to thank you, Grammy, for all that you do. We love you so much, and we can't wait to hug you again.
You say Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day! I love you, Mommy.
I want to wish both of my moms, my mom and my mom-in-law, a very happy treasured, wonderful Mother's Day. You are both amazing women, and I love you.
I want my mommy to know that I love her.
Say, I love you, Mommy.
I love you, Mommy.
You know, say it happy.
I love you, Mommy.
Love you, Mom.
So, there you go.